Do you see that? See that title? How do you feel about the title? Let's see from the title how much you need to hear this. I'm that tired, I can barely string a brain sound together at the moment. So hello, happy December, you fantastical person. Where are you in the world? What time is it? Do we know one another? If so, how do we know one another? I'm going to say a few pieces whilst I can. Put a 10 in the chat if you're a giver. You care about other people. I have a warning for you and for me. And I'm going to just speak it and leave. So, good evening, good morning. What do you want from this live? I'm a psychotherapist and a coach and lots of stuff. Who cares? The point is, I've lived. Have you lived? Pop an 8 in the chat. I don't give a damn what my hair looks like, or my bags, or my anything. What I give a damn about is us having a good life. Pop a 21 if you care about you having a good life. In fact, one of the crew from The Awakening, we just had a phenomenal event. And one of us, wonderful team members of the group, said something so extraordinary. I'm not going to tell you what it is, actually. No, come join us, and then you'll know. Beautiful people. Let's do this. What would you like? No, I will tell you, because it's so glorious. He said something like this. It's poetic licensing on what he said, a member from The Awakening. He said, I'm going to live my life to the full now, because I'd like other people in my life to live theirs to the full. So this title here, Doing You is the New Giving. Pop a 21 if that resonates, is a kind of potential thing about awoke people. In fact, I'll say this. Why don't we go out with a bang? Because I'm taking annual leave. Because nobody needs another very wounded and unhealed and unrested person online telling everyone else what to do. Do we? Do we need them? I've done that a lot in my time. Is told other people how to do happy. Meanwhile, I have been happy myself. However, there's been a lot that I haven't been doing. So I'll just share from that space, if that's okay with you and you'd like to be here, please be here. I have that much juice. And then I literally feel drunk, tired. How do you feel? I don't drink anymore. I used to binge. But see, look at it. I swear to God, I haven't had a drink or anything. I'm this tired. And that's okay. So I thought I'd just say adieu and give you something to consider for you. I tell you the truth because I can. I don't fear people not liking me or what I say. And it's a nice place to be. We all have fear. We're human, we're tribal. I don't want you to cut me off and everybody, put me in the naughty corner and not talk to me. I've experienced it. Pop a 22 in the chat, if that's you. You have experienced feeling, well, that's the trauma word again. Again, I met with a friend of mine years ago. She was very prominent in psychoanalytic work. I'm a psychotherapist as well as the coaching and stuff like that. And we had a discussion at dinner. What's trauma? Yes, this is my life. And she said, let's go with your definition. I think yours is better. And my definition is that trauma is the experience of feeling overwhelmed and alone in it. In fact, I'm going to tell you a story. It's fucking profound. So let's go. Shall I tell you a story? Hello, hello. And then you're going to send me loads and loads of love and healing and magic and miracles whilst I take December off. Deal? I'll put a deal in the chat if you're up for that. I get to be full up and replenished so that I can come back in 2024 and pow! With my meanness. And those that want it get to have it. And those that don't, don't. I have to tell you this. It's so epic. I'm not going to tell you all the ins and outs of this story. That will be in the movie because it has to be a movie. Who's got a movie in them? Thank you, Pauline. And Pamela. Oh, and Jan. Oh, and Joanne. Oh, I love you. And Claire. And Joanne. Oh, yay. You're amazing. Let's have some hearts for us, shall we? 1, we get to have love. And 2, we get to turn up the dial on the flipping shadow banning on Poppy's page. Yes, I'm Poppy. I do talk about myself in the third person occasionally. Apparently, pressing the heart button, people go, ooh, something's going on the Poppy page, and we get to go, yeah, love is going on here. A lot of us, I think, and I know, leave. No, gum. I said this to God recently. I was talking. I do that. We all get to talk to whatever this is. For me, it's collective consciousness. I'm just channeling. Like you. Only I listen fully. You may too. And if you do, please share with us who you are and how you are and where you are so we can come and be with you. We get to be clean. Proper 21, if that makes sense. What I mean by it is to clear out the noise, the doubt, the worry, the trauma. Not to get rid of it or silence it or intellectualize it away or get busy so we don't think about it, avoid it. We get to face off with what's going on. And I'll be honest with you, because I get to. It's fucking scary, life. To do it real, do it, in my opinion. I've not met anyone who lives life true, meaning tells the truth. How are you? Not great right now, actually. You know, the truth, when we interact. I've never met anyone who's aligned, i.e. what they're thinking about and feeling and doing behaviourally is the same. I've never met an aligned person. It's all shits and fucking rainbows and sparkles. It's been rough. Very. And, you know, I started the Awakening series recently. I don't even know when. Midway through September, I think. So this is whatever it is. And the title didn't come out properly, so I'll pop it when we're off live. Because I was in hell again. Pop a 41 in the chat if you've been in hell. I usually put a trigger warning on all of the videos. So what do? I'm going to put trigger warning here and pin it so that it's informed. To be fair, we do get to, you know, be mindful that we get triggered by everything and the triggers are the guides. However, I feel protective of our hearts right now. Very. So I'm going to put a warning on it so that if people join live, they're aware. So that it's really a choice. Because I'm, you know, I say stuff. So you can come in on a live and I'm screaming or doing something triggery and you know. By the way, the Awakening program that we're doing, is very affordable for every human, and that we've got lots in there for dealing with trauma and overwhelm and triggers and boundaries mastery. Yes, you're welcome. It is good. You get to come and be with us. And for December, we're doing masterclass interviews. Please come join us. Get loved on. I will be there for the masterclasses in December. Next, we've just had Patrick Snow, book writing coach extraordinaire, teaching us how to self-publish and talking into spirit and aligning and being real and true to yourself and being in love with yourself, essentially, calling in the life that you want. We've just done it. It was excellent. It's going up on the portal in about an hour. This is an excellent resource, my friends. If you're an awakening type person, if you're starting to go, yeah, it's something about life that gets to be good. You do get to be aligned. Proper 44, if you could align more with truth. And what I mean by that is that what you think about and what you feel and what you do gets to be the same shit. Not that you're thinking, I really would like to read that book or do that or get a massage or, I don't know, tell my boss to jump off a cliff or leave the partner or ask the person out or say, you know what, sorry, mate, not sorry. I'm going to actually order a new drink because I went to the bathroom and I'm getting the heebie-jeebies and, you know, we're in a lot of pain right now and there's a lot of opportunists and I'm having my back. So if that puts your fucking nose out of joint because I want to not die or get raped tonight, then there we go. Love and light. Are you with me? That we get to find ways of talking into truth of reality so that we don't have to have nosebleeds of epic magnitude. What I mean by that is this is going to be what they call in ISTDP, intensive short-term dynamic psychotherapy, diversifying, because I'm tired. I'm being diverse with what I'm saying. Hopefully you can follow it. My head's just full. Let's go back to where I was. July time, July, what follows July? Oh, no, September, I wasn't feeling good, as some of you know, and thank you for your love. Winter, I'm not a fan of the cold. I was resisting the winter because I don't like being flipping cold. Who does this is there's something about life and you resist it. Do you get ready for it? Oh, I don't like it when she comes for Christmas or when that boss is in town, or I don't like it that, and you resist it. You spend energy, your thoughts are, I don't want that. So you're thinking into what you don't want. It happens so frequently. It happened with someone last night. I was essentially saying, what would you like to have happen here? What's our intention? Like, let's make a plan. Let's spell into the outcome we want. And they kept telling me what they don't want. And in the end, I was like, I've got compassion fatigue. You're not my client. You're not my anything that I have to be all good with. It's just, answer the question, love. I'm not talking about what you don't want. Who could do more of aligning with what is true? That we often resist the thing that we fear. And then the worst of us comes out. We fear someone cutting us off or not understanding us or hurting us or judging or rejecting. We fear that. So we're resisting and we're putting that energetic blueprint out there is don't do that to me. And in doing that, we miss the love opportunity because our focus is on don't not love me. Is this resonating? What per 6 if this is resonating? I did it myself yesterday. A couple of times. And it is fatigue. And that's not an excuse. It's context. That I found myself. There we go. That's beautiful. I did not find myself doing this. I did this because I set myself up to have this experience because I am in control of my behavior, my thoughts, my feelings, and my outcomes. So I didn't find myself there in the folly going, how did I end up here being all defensive? I set myself up because I'm in recovery from being someone who gaslights the hell out of myself. Is anyone with me? Proper 45 if you are. Meaning, you shouldn't think that, you shouldn't feel that, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't doubt that, you shouldn't look that way, you shouldn't eat that, you shouldn't... It's stifling at the best of times. Emotionally crippling myself. So whilst I'm pretty damn healthy and good at stuff these days, there's still residue because I'm still learning. We're all students of life for life, in my opinion, or we get to be if we want. It's like a client of mine said, "From the womb to the tomb, Poppy." I'm a student. And I was like in awe, and still am and always will be, of this beautiful woman who said it. I'm like, wow, I've never heard that before. In September, I found myself, poor little victim me of myself, concerned that the winter's coming. Winter is a profound season, and even if you live in California, which I did, winter still comes. It's cold. What I mean by it is, we get to gather fruits. We get to gather energy. We get to be intentional for a season that's coming that is about rest and replenishment. Not a lot happens. The leaves fall. Things get a bit quiet. Animals, we don't move as much. We don't produce as much. It's not our time of innovation classically. Creativity. We're creating very powerfully. However, it's more staid. We put on a bit of weight. We eat a bit more. We sleep a bit more. Slumbering. And it's not because there's something wrong with us or that we should be doing something else. It's a season where we get to slow down and be less fucking manic about stuff. We get to trust more. Pop up 4 if this is resonating with you. We get to trust that underneath things are happening. Energies are evolving within us. We get to do less. We get to sort of pull in. We get to be mindful that it's a time for vitality, replenishing, feeding, receiving, mindfully having our mind full of ourselves. That if I do me in December, I know with every piece of my being that I'll be able to give to you better than I've ever given before. Once I've done it. Pop a yes me or a 1 in the feed if you could be a bit more like me in this. By the way, I didn't come up with this idea. I decided in September, literally lying in bed one morning or evening. Evening, I think. I was quite anxious. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I was thinking, it was in the morning. You think you're so shit hot as a coach, peak performance, yada, yada, you're all that. Why are you feeling like this? Heavy, fatigued, afraid, murderously angry about the injustice of the world. And what's been happening with me recently, a lot of injustice, a lot of, wow, pain in opening my eyes to how many people have been abusive in my life. And I'm not talking clients at all. Well, actually, yeah, some clients can be abusive. However, that's part of pain and healing, and that's part of the work that I do. That's okay. It's in context. That's what they pay me for in part, is to be pissed off and hurt and good for you, because it pisses us off, life, and it damn is hurtful. And there is a piece of psychotherapy and coaching that we get to do where you get to have a fucking tantrum about it and it be okay. You have to be nice about pain. However, there are other areas where it's very painful to take a look and go, wow, Poppy, you're lovely. This is empathy, self-care. You're a lovely woman. And that's not behavior that's loving. And yet you still allow that. Because why? Why do you allow other people's poor behavior? Because I'm an excellent person. It's like, what's that called? Who does this? I'm not the only one in the village doing it, people. Come on, raise your hand if it's you. I can contort my brain to tell me stories about what's going on for other people that allows for me to empathize to the point that I make it okay for them to be not okay with me. Proper 44, if that, 45, sorry, because I've said that number. If that resonates, that you're that empathic, that your empathy can excuse other people's poor behavior. And it's a no-no. It's a classic of people who've been traumatized and abused and gaslit and around a lot of psychopathic behavior, narcissistic behavior, withholding parents, withholding family, blackmailing culture is take it. Dance, monkey! Let me give you all of this crap and let's see how nice you can be about it and how much you're going to give more when other people give less. And then in your whatever symptoms of your dis-ease and your hunger for love, let's watch what happens, shall we? And it's horribly painful. Anybody identify toxic empathy? Yeah, there we go. Next. The toxic empath. I don't know if I coined that. I've never heard that term. I've just started saying it, or not heard it consciously anyway. Last summer I started talking about it, is we all have good bits and not so good bits. We all have the two wolves inside of us. You know, the parable of the two wolves, where the grandmother says to the grandchild, hey, granddaughter or grandson, or you can tell it your way. You know, inside every human, there's two wolves. A good wolf that knows about love and tenderness and compassion and health and healing and play. And there's a bad wolf that's angry and cunning and merciless and mean and manipulative and raging and devilish. There's two wolves inside of us, and they're always at war. And the grandchild says, well, Grandma, if there's two wolves inside of us and they're always at war, which one wins? And the grandma says, the one you feed. Yesterday I fed the bad wolf for a moment. That wolf could rip anything apart, and has. Anyone with me? Pop a 49 in the chat. If you have been mean, and you've been cruel, and you've been reactive, and you've been judgmental, and you've been devilish, and you've been a rageful, wounded, scared, it's what it is. It's fear. Nasty version of you. My mum said to me once, you're brutal sometimes, Poppy. It was a number of years ago when I used to be a drinker. And she was right. She is right. I have that side of me. Fucking merciless. Having said that, we all have that side. And no, we don't get to make it bipolar. Thank you. I diagnosed myself with bipolar 16, 17 years ago. Because I'm a clinician and I know bipolar. It's I'm a specialist in a lot of areas, actually. And I'm right-ish. And I then met a good psychiatrist of many, not ones, who said, yeah, you got a lot of traits there, love. Having said that, I learned about what bipolar is, actually. And it's very different than we think. Very. So back in September when I'm lying there, like a lot of people, pop a 41 in the chat if you have felt, particularly these last few years, overwhelmed. This iPhone 15. Angry. Questioning of your mind. Something's wrong with you. Telling yourself that because you're menopausal and you've got to accept that extra half a stone or stone of weight or pounds or whatever you do it in. Or, you know, you've got a dad bod now because that's your age and you've got to suck it up and it's just the way it is. Or at your age, you can't go and move into a new career because you left it too late. Or at your age, you're the last one on the shelf and blah, blah, nobody's coming and everyone's got baggage. Or men only want this, or women only want that. Careful. It's the time of our lives, in my opinion, now. I'm excited for us, very. Back in September, I was excited for us then too, by the way. I was also very scared. And I'm not as scared now. I'm still a bit scared. And what I mean by that is about the gravity and the grossness and the genocidal agenda. And I know that some people, it's a difficult pill to swallow. There is a trigger warning. I have to tell you this, because why not? When I was in a psychiatric facility myself as a client, as a patient, I've worked in psychiatric facilities and I've been patients in them. This is an interesting story stuff that I've got going on here. I remember distinctly one guy literally being dragged away by staff, screaming, "They're trying to kill me." And I remember thinking, Poppy, hold it. Because what I wanted to say, and I may have said it because I was pretty unfiltered anyway, is you're right, love. Yeah, I'm sorry for it. They're trying to kill. Yes, they are. Not literally in that moment necessarily. I see everything, and I did in that flipping hospital. They didn't kill him. However, I know the principle he was getting at was this system is corrupt, is what he was saying. This isn't care, healthcare people. You're not trying to love me and help me be well. You're trying to do the opposite. And whilst he wasn't a paranoid schizophrenic or anything like that, he was an angry person like me, justified. It's right and just. The inequality, the injustice, the grossness, the things that we allow is so difficult to bear. And of course, because I see so much, because I get the privilege and the pleasure of meeting so many people and hearing stories, it's very painful. So in September, I was lying there in the morning thinking, you think you're all that? Why are you feeling like you want to top yourself? And I didn't have a plan to do it. It's very nuanced suicidality. And a lot of clinicians and therapists and so on, I caught myself there. Good for me. Ego stroke. A lot of people fear the word. I wasn't going to kill myself. I didn't want to live with the pain. That's different. Do you get me? Pop a 7 if you get me. And pop an 8 if you want to. If you identify where it's like, if this is my deal, I don't want to live with this. This is not a yes at my end. Very different from you were suicidal. However, it's a dangerous fucking profession, psychotherapy. Because you say that to the wrong person and you're in the clink. Or you're a danger to yourself and the public. In fact, my own therapist, no apology, I had to say, love, I'm here seeing a red flag here. Really. Let me talk into what I'm actually saying. Because we all do this, it's not safe thing. And what is that called? It's been a while since I've worked in multidisciplinary practice in that way. Because in my business, we have multidisciplinary practice that I'm just the boss. That's not necessarily true. We're collegially working together. However, nobody tells me what to do in terms of what I do with my professionalism or not in my own business. They certainly give me feedback. It just happened here and it was absolutely beautiful. One of the coaches that works with me pushing back to say, Poppy, receive that. My point is, people don't manipulate my skills anymore because I don't allow it. Talking into how we're feeling is necessary. And I've said it often, and this I don't know who I heard it from or how it's come about, or if it's come from me, or, you know, it's going to be an integration somehow anyway, is all emotions are valid. You feel murderous rage, that's valid. You'll have a reason to feel like you want to kill something or someone. It's what we do with the emotions that can be and is very problematic for us. For example, if we don't talk about feeling that much rage, which we all do because we're primitive. So anyone that says I don't feel rage, it's just we're not conscious of it. So we get to allow for powerful discussion about what it feels like to be you. Because we also have mixed feelings. So I can be murderously rageful about raping children, for example, and also very loving towards the pain of that situation, and empathic, and. We get to have and, not either or. So what I discovered for me was I was out of attunement with my rhythm for my seasons. And I've known for a very long time, you've got to get into alignment with your seasons, Poppy, and all of us, because we're on planet Earth. And as much as I love our struggle in many ways, I really respect and admire how feisty we are to refuse the power of this planet. I.e., no, ego says I'm going to keep working or keep dating or keep doing or keep, I'm going to know that and ignore the red flag and so on. It's like we're these young teenagers giving ourselves and spirit and aligned, love, the bird, constant. No, I know better because I want it to be this way or I've been told, etc. Who does this? Is you turn on divinity because your brain or culture or your parents or someone told you it should be the other way. And we give up so quickly. And I meet people these days and say things like, I did it last night with a guy. I'm like, what special features do you have? And he's like, what do you mean, my autism? And I'm like, exactly. I knew you had special features because I can't be bothered going around the houses. Not that I've done that much lately. And it was glorious. It's like you need to have a mental health problem in order to justify the fact that you're prepared to say something. I did it in a shop today. Again, I hit compassion fatigue about a month into the COVID bullshit. Went into a shop today and I said, hello, good morning, everybody. Silence. And I'm like, and for a second I thought, you could be dead because nobody's acknowledged your existence. There's there's a line between narcissism of everybody acknowledge me, see me, hear me stuff, and just making a connection with other humans. It shocked me though, how everyone was. And I said to the store guy giving me stuff, I said, what's your name? And he said, Vlad. And I said, Vlad. He said, call me V. And I went, no. Please help me with the pronunciation. And will you correct me if I get it wrong? Because I'd like to get it right. And I didn't point it out because it's not, I wasn't there. Didn't want to. In seconds, he gave his name up because he just folded and went into passivity to pacify and minimize his entire being because I didn't get the accent right. However, it was my first go. And I thought that says a lot to me about how readily we give away our special things. And that only the special feature people are getting away with being honest at the moment. So rather than pathologize ourselves, i.e. we have to have something wrong with us or weird with us in order to say hello to each other and not have it be shocking and weird. one of the girls at the Grand Hotel, I love that place down the road because it is so grand and beautiful. It's got issues like all of us. We all have issues. Nothing that I've ever known is perfect. And we get to be careful if we put stuff on pedestals because we've all got edges that we can look at and tweak and polish and test and so on. Fiona, her name is. She's a glorious, glorious waitress, redhead, beautiful little face. I love her. She's a forensic linguist. Let's be careful with assumption. There she is doing her glorious stuff. She makes stuff happen in that hotel, that little girl. She's very young. She's not a little girl. She's a young woman. Forgive me. As I get older, everybody else has to get super young, obviously. We get to be careful about minimizing and pacifying things that are not minimal or passive. And it starts here. So what I did, however long ago, is I went, what are you not doing at the moment, Poppy, that you could be doing more of? Because this winter gets to be a wonderful one, where you stop resisting the things you don't want. It's cold. You live in Britain, love. Get some clothes, go in the ocean, do the ice bucket challenge that God put there, or the cosmos. Quit your bitching and get into alignment or move to the sun. But quit resisting everything and focusing on, I'm cold, I don't like the cold, oh my God, I can't breathe, stuff. This is where you live, love. Embrace it. This is my internal dialogue. And it's fun, it's not mean. And I thought, okay, so I went into the ocean. Have a listen to Wim Hof's story about why he started doing this work with the cold. The story, the context. There's always a story. Why would the man do that to himself? So I thought, Wim Hof, God, and whoever, the ocean, get in there. And I did. I do not like the cold ordinarily. I went in the ocean in Britain. And I'm not really into that. And it was glorious. And I wasn't, oh, I'm cold, it's cold, it's cold. I was present. And I'm like, fucking hell, Wim Hof, yeah, thanks, mate. Because I'm always talking about him and listening to him and not doing it. Anybody resonate? Yes, me, if you resonate. This is human stuff, my loves. This is why I say it. Because some people it's helpful. And if it is, great, good, hooray. As I was coming out of the ocean, I'm like, what's going on here? Literally, I promise you, I will not lie to you. And if ever I come off and go and exaggerate a bit there or whatever, got that wrong, I will tell you, you have my word. I look and it's beach box spa. And I'm like, what's that? Right where I came out of it. I insisted on where I was going into the ocean. I didn't want to go the normal way. I wanted to go the princess way because it was special and you're not supposed to go there. And it's special. So I'm like, I'm special and I'm going there. Is there any danger? Am I going to hurt a kid? Am I going to do... No, I'm going the special way. So I went the special way. And as I came out the special way, there is a spa on the beach with saunas and all stuff right there with ice bucket challenges. And the most glorious little community of beautiful, incredible poppy-type people. And I'm like, home. And I cried to the woman, said, my love, you've made this a beautiful place for us. And I could see in her eyes, it has not been easy to make her dream happen. I could feel it in my bones. How much of a challenge it's been for this woman to make this thing hers. And hold on to it. And not give up or minimize it. Or throw in the towel, or because you can't, and this and that, and the whom, and that. I could feel it in my bones, how damn hard this woman has worked to make this beautiful place. And I cried. I said, this is saving my life one breath at a time that you're doing this. I can really feel how much work you've put in. Thank you. And from there has been a tsunami of aligned, magical, weird stuff. Ending with Cinderella going to literally the ball at the flipping Grand yesterday. I walk in, long story, because I'm listening and acting. God doesn't want you to have, or the universe, says no to smoking because you're triggered and wounded because it's devastating right now. Pick another thing to do with your mouth than smoke and do suicidal bullshit today. Okay, I won't. I'm listening. I get it. Yes, fine. I'm not going to do it perfectly. If someone wants to give me a cigarette, it's different. At the moment, I'm not going to be a saint about it because I'm on Earth and I'm human. And I walk in and my friend goes, Poppy, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here to see my friend. He said, are you coming to the ball? I'm like, yes. I said, 2 tickets. I said, I'm with my friend. Oh, sack off your friend. I don't sack off my friends, my friend. So his friend said, bring your friend. I said, good. Cinderella does go to the ball. To be fair, though, we missed the ball because we were busy doing a lot of wow stuff. And the ball ended at 10:30. And apparently it was glorious. And they raised lots of extraordinary money for some really wonderful things. However, at least I got an invite this year. I would not have had an invite, and I wouldn't have been wearing my ball gown, if I'd have been busy breastfeeding people in the way I used to, which is overgiving in areas where I didn't have it on, what's that called? Because I have done that this year. Please don't get me wrong. What I've done, though, is align seasonally and go, okay, if you're not going to do that, what's the next best thing? Where could you push the boat out? Where could you, whatever? And so what I've done is put together the awakening, and I've made it accessible to the world. Because it's really important to me that you have it if you want it. If you want tools and strategies for having a good and healthy, thriving life, you get to have it. If you want a masterclass program from a master about boundaries, triggers, goal setting, relationships, verbiage, words, and what to say, you've got it. If you'd like masterclass interviews galore from people teaching us about authenticity and their overcomings and their life path and healing from sexual traumas, and I could go on for a long time. You have it from me. And for those that are struggling, we have a way that you can get it and donate. And you just reach out to us, info@academyforselfmastery.com, and we will support you. You get to pay for it. Because what I did learn specifically this year is unless we're enrolled, unless we're actively registering our intention, energetically, verbally, physically, involving our physiology, involving our money. Sometimes it's not, which is why I like this program, because it's there and it helps us if it's just impossible. If you're in war and poverty right now and the fee is impossible, then you donate with our love. I've been there, believe me, many times. Come. Unless we elect to invest in something, to say to the cosmos, I'm invested in me, well, you invest in me. Everything that we do, the cosmos says yes. Oh, I'm going to get the woman, Poppy, to call me V because she's pathetic and can't say my name. The universe says yes. And I go, yeah, V, hi, V, all right, V, rather than Vlad. And I learned to attend to my friend in the shop, who's my brother, and call him by his fucking name. For goodness sake, if there's one thing I can do, is learn to say a name and get over my ego that goes, oh, I'm not doing it right perfectly, therefore I'm ashamed, I'm bad. Is, hey, Vlad, my friend, am I pronouncing it correctly? No, you're messing that up, love. Okay, could you help me out? And then he knows I care enough to attempt to see him. Because if there's one thing I know as a psychotherapist with 25 years practice, working across disciplines in all areas with all kinds of clients, wow, we want to be seen. So those of us batting people away or screaming for mummy still. Our parents who've left us or they're past now, and we're still beating our chest. See me, hear me, please, mummy. Screaming. We're screaming for love from the parents and family that didn't see that we're excellent and beautiful and worthy of unconditional love. I'm crying because it resonates deeply. You don't and I don't need to prove that we're lovable anymore. It doesn't work as a method to do that stuff. It doesn't, my loves. I've been doing this a long ass time. I have never seen a client, a psychiatric one, a very well one, a coaching client, a celebrity, a billionaire, a homeless person, a kid, a family, a group, an individual, an organization, a couple. I've never seen a client in 25 years of practice who's screaming for love with behaviors that are not true to them and it feel good or work. So I've stopped doing it. And yeah, again, there's residue because like now I'm exhausted and can barely string a sentence together. However, I care enough to say I'm taking a break because I love me and because I love you. Come into the program, pay for it, and let's all heal and get super powerful together so that our lives can be what we would like them to be. Not just kind of dodgy version of what we hope for. We deserve everything. And protesting it to other people that you should treat me better or love me more or not do that, that method does not work. And the most devastating thing that I've learned in my entire life, and I tell you what, it's a very painful realization. And I do think it will take me the rest of my life to recover. It's desperately sad. It's true. Most people are angry at the idea that love can actually be unconditional. That's what I've learned. Is that a lot of people who feel they're woke, a lot of people who say they're healing, a lot of people who do therapy and coaching and all the things, actually really and truly, when you show them that true love, real love is a thing, i.e. you can speak and be respected and safe. You can affect change, even if change in that area has never been done before. You can get things done. You can make change happen. You can put your head above the parapet. Tall poppy syndrome is actually called, ironically, not. You can stand up for things and make changes happen. And it be a wonderful thing that is fruitful and permission-making and life-giving and healing and life-saving for people. You can do that, and hundreds of thousands and millions and billions of people benefit with a ripple effect of peace and love and healing. We can do it. And what I've seen and learned is the very people often who I think are the healers. It's always a healer. If I get attacked online mercilessly, look at their profile. It will be a healer, therapist usually. No disrespect. Honestly, no disrespect. I'm not being funny. Telling you. I'm a researcher. We get to research our fears. We fear love, in my opinion. Because wouldn't it be devastating if we all opened our hearts to the idea that we could have truth and realness and safety and healing and connection and tribe and team? Wouldn't it be devastating if we take a risk again, only to be broken by the absence of other people, or the attack, or the judgment, or the ridicule, or the shaming, or the censorship, the deplatforming. If you fall in love with you and you start singing your song, again, Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, bipolar like me. Take your broken heart and turn it into art, she said. Wouldn't it be devastating if we tell people in graceful ways, I love you anyway, and if you'd like to be around me, let's talk into what are the agreements for our relationship, yada, 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 yada. And that works. Imagine the pain and the tsunami of it when we realize we could have always had it. If it's that easy, if it's that doable. This year, I have been attacked mercilessly, for a lot of it, by people afraid of love. My friends, my loved ones, my, very close. And what it's told me is, we're all in pain. We have our own seasons of pain. We have our own pain. It's not to be compared. That wouldn't be fair, because we're not the same. We're different. However, we all fear being alone because we're tribal. What I learned, though, is that it's for us to sit with, am I okay with what I'm saying? Am I okay with what I'm doing? Am I okay with? And then we do something. So I'm such a fan of what my client said is, from the womb to the tomb, Bobby. I'm a student of life. For us to have tribe and connection and therapists and coaches and books and colleagues and, wonderful connecting things where we're learning and growing and evolving together, definitely. However, ultimately, you are your authority and I am mine. And we get to make a very powerful connect with that. Because without it, we will always be a little girl or a little boy with somebody else doing whatever. And that's not living. That's performing. So I'll say this bit. Whilst, as I'm seeing out the year as my last Facebook Live of 2024, because I'm having a break, I've been struck from the register at the moment, or suspended is what they're calling it. And it's only right and proper that that's happened, because I said things against government guidelines. I said things that the government said that doesn't want me to say to you, i.e. that you have informed consent. That's your right, is to have informed consent, information so that you can make decisions about you and your health. You have a right to that information. I'm not allowed to tell you that by law. I've been struck off for misconduct for saying, hey, do you know that I and all of my colleagues in anything to do with health, we're supposed to help you be informed and feel really secure with the information that you need to have in order to make decisions about you. That's our duty, is to love on you and give you everything and say, it's not up to us what you say yes to or no to. We're not allowed to promote products, for health. We're not allowed to promote jabs, or we're not allowed to, earn money from stuff. What we need to say, I earn money from my products because I'm an entrepreneur. It's different. Come on. Wow. We have a duty of care as clinicians, as healthcare practitioners, to present you with our informed consent, meaning we've done our due diligence on everything, hours and hours and thousands of them, to work out, to look at the source, to look at research studies, to cross-reference different studies, meta-studies, to take studies. It's boring as batshit, believe me. Wow, I cried myself to sleep night after night during COVID going, I don't get the stats, and I thought I finished it when I was doing my doctorate, and I had a nervous breakdown doing that. I had to read that stuff so that I could inform myself and work out what the hell was going on to the best of my flipping ability, because I took an oath. Do no harm. And irony on irony, I'm told I did harm by telling you you have informed consent, meaning you don't have informed consent. You get to have informed consent. You must have that provided for you from people. So you go to the doctor or the nurse or the therapist or the someone and you have questions, or we have knowledge. We are duty bound to share it. So that you can go, oh, so there's this and there's this and this, and that does that and that does that and that. Oh, so you're not getting paid by any of these people? Oh, no, you're not getting paid. Okay, good. Okay, so you're impartial. You're not getting a kickback from promoting that product. And they haven't put any pressure on you to give us that and all the things, right? So I told you that stuff because that's my duty. And they've told me no. And that's okay. That's absolutely, it's not okay, obviously. However, I saw that coming 20 years ago. That's why I work for myself. Having said that, that's madness personified. That you would illegalize freedom of speech. That's what they've done in the healthcare profession in Britain and most countries, from what I can gather. So that you know, me and my colleagues are being struck off. My lawyer, even because I'm suing, obviously, globally for change. For us to change words like misconduct, professional and inappropriate. For us to have conversations together. Oh, by the way, you can sponsor if you'd like to help me pay for these lawyers because it's expensive. I would like us to change the wordage. So when I've been struck off or suspended for 18 months for inappropriate conduct online, I would like us as humans to have conversations to say, okay, so what is inappropriate online for a healthcare practitioner? Because as my lawyer said, he said, so didn't they look at your professional page? You know, your shop window, this page. So one person complained about your memes on your friend page and you've been suspended for 18 months. That's the short version. And I said, yeah. And they said, so what were you doing on your business page? And I said, well, on my business page, I was filming myself going through customs not wearing a mask. And EasyJet held the flight because I said, people, I know the law. I'm allowed to breathe. It's an inalienable right. So if you want to hold the EasyJet flight for an hour and keep all these nice people waiting because I don't fall for bullshit so easily anymore, go for it. I just feel for those people because they've got lives and families. And you want to gaslight the fuck out of me and make me look terrible and put a gun against my head, a white gun, without my consent, without even warning me or the little children in the thing, and just force a gun in my face and then get all shirty with me because I nearly knocked the woman out because I'm like, love, you just put a gun at my head. Why? I was taking your temperature. I said, I'm devastated because I can see that you've been indoctrinated into doing this, that you've been doing this every day, day in, day out, for God knows how long, that it's become normal that you would put a gun at someone's head without saying anything. It's not a gun. Well, of all the objects I've ever seen in my life, that is a gun. Just because it's white doesn't mean it ain't a gun, love. That's not okay in my world. That's what I was doing on my business page. And we were doing watch parties from Plandemic 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 wasn't out then, but you get my point. I was doing all kinds of stuff there. I was giving stats. I was doing it differently. On my friend page, I was being reactive and wounded and realizing, like a lot of the planet, that I had massive underlying insecurities of chronic PTSD that I hadn't touched yet. I was very afraid during COVID, and I'm sorry, it was reckless, some of those posts. It wasn't helpful to have another angry person online. I was really hurting and screaming for love. I was afraid for us. I'm a human being first, then a clinician. Having said that, if shit's going down, I'd want me on my team. Because I was telling the truth, and by the way, I did add 500, research articles that I had cross-referenced and so on. What you're referring to are striking me off as the 1,000 hours of the fruits of her labour. So as I close out the year, a lot of people haven't what I've said. My own psychiatrist, he said to me the other day, I love him. I record everything and he's good with it because he knows that I'm like long enough in the tooth that I'm not trusting a lot of people. And I trust him implicitly. However, it's the principle of the thing, and the fact that he doesn't bat an eyelid that I'm recording him blows my mind every time. He said, Poppy, you're well. Good for you. He said, are people going to say you're wrong? Are some people going to say you shouldn't be saying it? Of course. You're well. Good for you. I'll see you soon. That helped me because I said to him, bless you, because there is this part of me that still gaslights me to go, should I say that? Particularly when it's family and friends that do it. I.e., Poppy, if you're going to stand up and put your head above the parapet, tall poppy syndrome, and say that the wars that are happening on Earth are happening because we are warring internally and tolerating it and attacking ourselves and minimizing and pacifying and letting people walk on by and walking on by and allowing corruption in our own families and covering things up in our own families, in Western culture, us people looking in the mirror. If you're doing it, then it means I'm going to need to do it, or you're judging me. And the truth is, yes, at this juncture, my friends, I am, very much. I get it. I empathize. I've been you. I've been passive-aggressive, people-pleasing, lying, hiding, drinking, drugging, bulimicking, anorexing bullshit too, chronically. That's why I was so unhappy. It's what bipolar is about. It's a swing back from repressing so much. And it's just a cycle. That's all it is. Like any other cycle. I get it. And I love you. And I feel you. And I also call for you, please, to start doing the right thing a lot. Because I believe it to be very true that the warring will stop when you do. So we can call for peace and justice and rightness, best practice, in the courts, in the professions, in the governments, in the homes, in the families, in the beds, every single place there is on earth. We can call for justice and rightness and fairness and peace and healing. However, we have to actually do it ourselves as well. So, happy everything. I love you. You're not bad. You're not mad. You're fucking fantastic. And we're in pain, a lot of it. And we get to heal. And we get to celebrate. And we get to teach. We're all teachers. Your story is desperately needed by the masses. And no, coaching and healing profession isn't saturated with practitioners and coaches. It's saturated with clients waiting for you to share your gifts and your art and your brilliance and your truth. So come and be with us in the awakening. We will love on you while you get strong. And you can love on us while we do. And I will see you next year. Sending love.